Hi, Sushma. How are you?
Hi, Kalpana. All good here.
Hi, nice. How is COVID situation over there in Goa? Because that's hot spot, na? It's a traveling spot, na? Like people always, when they ask, which place do you want to go? Everybody will say Goa, and especially, the football players. Goa is known for football, and you coming from such a place, let us know how is the situation over there.
At the moment, definitely the football activities are stopped. They cannot train, but
Okay.
the situation is better than before. We can move around. We can go to places. It's not like it is totally prohibited and all the stuff. But yeah, it's much easier now in Goa than other states comparatively. But for
So,
football,
yeah.
the start is not yet.
You played for Goa, and then you became as a coach and instructor, and now of Boko Juniors. So, how did you start off your career in football?
Uh, well, it was in '97, I guess, when we had the first type of professional youth setup in Goa, started by Dempo Sports Club, and then fortunately, after a long process of selections and all this throughout Goa, then I was part of the squad, and that's how my football as a player started playing for. Dempos, and not only playing, but I was lucky and fortunate enough that along with my teammates, we won the first GFA U19 championship hosted by GFA, and that Dempo Sports Club Juniors, we won it in '97, the starting inauguration. So that are the memories which are like more than 22 years back, and yeah, that's how
And
I started, and then.
which position do you play? You were a striker, right? Because I had seen
Uh,
you
uh,
play because after we did our licensing together, and
uh,
those were the good
a
memories
lot of
also.
maybe a lot
So
of
I
goals I
believe
was
you are
scoring there,
a
for
striker.
the license. Maybe I was
Yeah.
scoring a lot of goals. Yeah.
So
So
you're a
yes,
striker, is it?
I started as playing as defender, but we had a Brazilian coach for
Okay.
Dempos when I studied in '97 for a youth setup, and he used me as I was a right full back. He tried me on playing as a striker, and that's what I got. More idea playing striker and was comfortable, and it went on, and then scoring goals, who doesn't like, and then it made me more motivated, like you score goals and help your team, and then the journey started. Played a couple of first divisions also that time. After my brief, I went abroad, came back, played for Goa Police. Was also getting a job opportunity with the Goa Police that time, but had different plans, and played first divisions in Goa. That's it, and then we had to pursue our education also besides playing football. So parents very keen, like, what you'll do? You'll only play football or do something. So then Goa is known for hospitality and tourism. So I had a diploma in hotel management when we are playing
Oh,
football, and side by side, and yeah, but love was there for football. So as a player, and then transition to a coach, it changed. And how it changed, introduction of Premier Skills when it was launched in 2009 in Goa. You might have heard of Premier Skills as well. Yeah.
yeah,
So
exactly.
English instructors and their setup had come in Goa. Our Goa Football Association had organized it, and that's what how it started. A like for coaching. I said, like, I want to play more. Why I'm into coaching? I like to play. I don't like this coaching. But after going for the course, it was thinking in a different manner. How you look at the game, from different from playing the boots of a footballer, then perspective of a coach is things different. You'll understand it better too. And then it changed, and then I had a thought in my mind, like, can I pursue in coaching can I do something? Maybe if I'm sincere, I can do well. I can progress well. I have to understand the game better. The knowledge should be in depth. Otherwise, it will be not worthy. Just you put your foot there and you be like jack of all trades and master of none. So I said, let me perceive, and then it went on, and then the the major turning point in my career was getting a scholarship after selecting by AFC. That changed the perspective, everything. So this AFC.
So I know they had this future coaches thing, from AFC, and I think there were two female and one male was selected, and you are the only person from India to represent that, right?
Yeah, it was. We were more than two actually, more females, more males also, and we were told.
Vasanti
Yes,
and from Tamil Nadu and from Goa,
yes.
we had one more person, right?
We had a female. Vandana was there. She's working at the school now, international school also, and then it started from there. And through AIFF, I was sent to Iran in 2009, and along with that, to pursue my C license, there was an Indian U13 team also, led by Coach Ranjit, Jopal Ancheri, and Firoz Sharif. I remember that. And we were in Iran. I didn't had a part in the Indian team. I was like a trainee coach and at that time, but more to focus on my C license rather than they were there with the team. But that experience always being there to watch matches, that is of a different level. When AFC conducted the U13 festivals in Surrey in Iran in 2009. So I represented India on behalf of that, completed my C license. My instructor was Mohasiz Mortaza. And to complete that, besides India, there was Iran, there was Maldives, there was Nepal, there was Bangladesh, there was all different countries. And similar C license were conducted in West Asia, in East Asia, in Korea, in Japan, in China, in Saudi Arabia. So Project Future was happening throughout and the selection was on, but we didn't have a clue. So that's when I did my C license and come back. I get a mail from my association saying that through AIFF that I have to report back to Kuala Lumpur. And I'm like, what is there? Like in the mail it says Mr. Daryl D'Souza has to report for the final selections for Project Future. So every West Asia, South Asia, East Asia had only 5 out of the lot selected, the best selected, and all were called to Kuala Lumpur in 2009. So once we were there, we were rigorously giving our practicals, our theories, and our oral and verbal interviews and match analysis, and it was a grueling process. We had 5 to 6 instructors, the best among Asia and Europe. And when the results came, I give praise to my God that my name was there, and instructors found that maybe some potential in me, that they said AFC will sponsor your entire education, and we have analyzed all your coaching, your plans, everything, and we found you suitable, that we will sponsor not only your C, which is on, but your B license and further, however good you do. So it went on that I'm coming from India thrice in a year to Kuala Lumpur, studying, being part of a Asian Cup, junior matches, how Japan team is training, how the Koreans are training, how the Saudi national team is training, how the major clubs are training. So all this was covered up, doing match analysis, proper exposure, and then we have to give our report backs to our instructor and all this. This helped so much that it gave me a platform at the top level in Asia and what is happening in Europe and around the world, because everything was shared with us. And the best part was, besides our Indian technical director that time and Rob Ban, I was also part for the FIFA conference, AFC conference. Whatever Asian Cup is happening, AFC always have a conference. FIFA World Cup happens, FIFA has a conference. So why? To postmortem, to break how the teams played, what are the analyses. So I was part of that. We were put in groups like top coaches, from. It's an honor to be with like Frank Rijkaard, Alberto Zaccarini, all these coaches, Australian coaches, Japanese coaches, how they won, what was the plan. So all were taught to us, for all of us. So this was the lengthy process we went through. And for the final year, before that, completed my B license in Kuala Lumpur, again part of AFC. And then the best of our participants whom AFC taught, we were given a break in Germany to do the DFB course. That's how again by UEFA with AFC, we got exposure again to Europe. Now from Asia, the transition was in Europe. Europe, we have done the German courses, again exposure to Bundesliga matches, match analyze in the stadiums. And then the best part, what I'm today is getting a real field exposure. Where my seniors had gone to Real Madrid, we were taken to Borussia Dortmund. And I was lucky chap to be a part there to analyze right inside the training arena with Jurgen Klopp and Mario Götze, Lewandowski, and all this experience. So this is a life-changing experience for me. What is happening right there on the training pitch, what we watch on television is different, but actually happening there on the pitch, on a day-to-day session, we were exposed to that. So all these things, Kalpana, made us really, prepared how, not only by reading books or by doing our courses, but exposing ourselves in the stadiums with the coaches, with the top teams, with the top coaches who have won Champions League, and all this helped me to grow as a coach. And still I'm learning and I want to be as a student of the game. So that was my journey. And after that, you were my colleague, we have done our A license also and having another good instructor in Kerala, Kochi, right? And you know the instructor from Bahrain, Fahad Al Muharak. Fahad Al Muharak. And he always told us that the personality of a coach, it's like a reflection on your players, how it is. Because how you are at home, how you are with your friends is different how you are on the pitch. How you are with your training, because you are a role model, you are a leader, you have to be from front, you have to have the plan in place. So all these people have contributed in our lives to what we are today. All these instructors, including Mohassis Mortaza from Iran, co-coming, and European instructors. So my big thank you for them, for what I am today. So this was my small journey, how I went into coaching, how through AFF, through AFC, through UEFA, I got this exposure. And today, after my Goa stint with the JFDC, and now today I'm representing Boca Juniors Bangalore, Boca Juniors Schools India in Bangalore as a technical director, and I'm proud to be associated with Boca Juniors India. So that's what presently I'm with.
So Boca Juniors, technically, they concentrate, what is the philosophy like? They concentrate more on technical skills, is it? Like forever and all that?
So basically, I'm with Bocas now, and there's also an English coach who is my colleague as a technical director also, Mr. Mick Leonard. He's been here with Bocas also for years. He's working on the base of players from the academies, to make them understand the basics of the game, to make them understand. Emphasis is there on technical, on ball mastery, but not forgetting the tactical elements as well. So there is a pattern which, keeping in mind the level of the individual, like at the academy compared to the excellence, there will be a level difference in the players. There will be a potential ability of each individual pertaining to academy and the excellence. So all this is kept in mind, and the Bocas are also playing competitions. They were in U13, U15, U18 last season. They have performed. Okay, they have played home away matches. A lot of their players are, besides Karnataka, are from rest of India. There are players. A lot of opportunities are there for the right players, and we will see together along with my team that we can inculcate in them a good free-flowing attacking style of play, not forgetting each player's individual role and responsibility. When we have the ball, we don't have the ball, So the basic things we will try to build on from this season again, because new players, okay, the pandemic situation, and we have to start from scratch with our team. So basically now, the situation, Kalpana, is what Boca Juniors are doing, all our coaches are doing is, they have not reduced the gap with all the players. from the academy, especially who are there with excellence. What Bocas are doing a unique way is connecting to all the kids, to all the parents, informing them how we can keep in touch, to keep our development, to keep our fitness at par. That we don't want long gaps happening. And what we at Boca are doing is we are having for them online classes, okay, focusing on the technical ability, focusing on the strength, on their body parts, on strength, on the basic conditioning, on strength exercises, focusing on their coordination, coordination, body coordination on the spot. Then we have Bocas are also organizing a tactical session once a week for them, besides the individual coach in the Zoom app, the online sessions of tactical we can't do because it's a one-on-one session. So trying to develop ball mastery, some strength coordination workouts for them. Tactical, yes, once a week we cover all the tactical. We teach them basically what is the football language, what are the football actions, what are the tactical of attacking and defending principles. So you have to understand the language first before hitting the pitch. So these are the things we are covering, not forgetting the sports nutrition. Bocas are having professional nutrition professionals who are delivering classes for them, to keep them to know what is the right intake of food, hydration, nutrition, that is covered, as well as not forgetting the sports psychology. I say it is a football brain, so sports psychology is covered also for them. So all these things Bocas are doing with this situation right now. So I think it is a tremendous thing, and being a proud of Bocas, what we are trying to connect in this situation, to loosen up the gap with the players.
So what is the thing, the players, it is a residential academy or is it a non-residential academy? And if it is a non-residential, and if it is a residential, what about the education of the children? From which age group do you start, the one can join in Boca Juniors?
So yes, Bocas are going to start with the residential academy from this season onwards, and on its way, the progress is well. Only we have taken a stop was because of this pandemic situation for the residential, but everything is clear. Parents are responding well, and the squad, we had done the selections before Pan India. Okay, so there were players that were picked up. There were players in Bangalore, in Karnataka. Lot of process our coaches went through. Players were gone under trials. So all these things were done. The testing, all the trial base was done. And 3 teams, as I told you, maybe looking for U12, U14, U17 will be mostly part for the residential academy. And there will be a place where they will reside this time. Okay, from this season onwards. And every team will have a different coach followed by a shadow coach responsible what type of style of football will play. We will talk of this ahead, maybe about style or system or whatever is there. Come to that. But this is how it will be Boca from this season. Yes, definitely a residential for the excellence centers.
And what about, is there a separate division for the women, or how is it like?
Actually, there are a lot of girl trainees in our grassroots, and Boca encourages girls footballers as well in Bangalore. There are girl trainees I have seen through online also, those who are interested, and they are already training, not only now but years from grassroots and all. But Boca have not have a woman professional or girls professional team in the age group yet. Okay, but there are girls who are playing already in Boca. They have their tournaments, internal tournaments. There are girls who are there who are interested, and we want to develop that, because the girls' development in football, also if they are encouraged to play, Boca always welcomes them to be a part of them, to be in the respective age groups of grassroots at their various centers. They are most welcome for that.
Okay. And what about has Boca, okay, you said that you're just going to, so what is your thing, because working in a new setup, so how challenging is it going to be for you?
Exactly, Kalpana. Every task, whatever I think, whether it was Goa, whether it was with teams, I-League teams for youth phases. I took the challenge. Everything is new. I cannot harp on the past and say that I have won this, or I was champion in Goa, or I have beaten top teams in Calcutta on their home ground. That is the past. But what is forward, I have to talk about it. And I believe that the construction of these teams, of these three teams, honestly, we cannot look for immediate results because I'm not a magician to produce immediate results. But definitely in years to come, you will see a bright change. You will see a brand of football that our players will play and can challenge anybody in the country in years to come. I'm sure on that. And why I'm sure on that? Because I cannot talk in the air. If I've done 4 years of training and working with players of this age and below that age, then 4 players I have produced for the national team, Kalpana, who's played first 11. Not only played first 11 for the national team, has been the captain of the national team. So that type of training they have to undergo. So these players have motivated me by knowing what is the level at the international level, because my players have played matches now against Saudi Arabia, against UAE. So when they speak to me or tell me about their experience, I know what things I have to do to keep in par with the international level. So that thing, what I have done in Goa, along with my coaches, we develop a tailor-made plan for each individual, depending on each age group, collectively sitting with the coaches and planning for them. It doesn't depend on that, Daryl says we play 4-3-3. I like 4-3-3. We play 4-3-2-1. No, it's not like that. Because I believe as a coach, through my education, that system don't make players, Kalpana. System doesn't make players. Because Liverpool plays 4-3-3, Barcelona plays 4-3-3, I will play in Boca 4-3-3. I'm not that type. I will see the quality of my players I have. Because player will make that system for me. Player will build that system for us. Every age group will have. Okay, but the core understanding, the style of play, the emphasis on team, when we have the ball, when we don't have the ball, that definitely will be the Boca way.
And what about things like, because you're going to be shifting yourself from Goa to Bangalore. So what about their culture and, the food and other things like Goa a lot, right?
It's a good question, actually. I love my state very much, and I'm proud to be a Goan. And anybody comes to Goa, feel at ease. You feel at home. Yeah. But our job is such that when I graduated with AFC also, we were told that you have to be adapted. You cannot be zone, right? You'll agree with me. We cannot be in a comfort zone as coaches. And going to different part of states also has become me more easier. Why? Because I've been an AFF instructor for the last 5-6 years. And when I'm an AFF instructor, I have to keep on traveling. I have to keep on adjusting. I've done more than 16-17 courses. I take courses so I can give my 100%. I just don't take courses back to back. So I can give my time. I have to be fresh, because whatever I teach will be a clear picture to the aspiring coaches who will teach the grassroots players to develop in our country. So that adaptation, going to the country, whether it is going towards north in Himachal or going extreme south in Chennai, Kanchipuram or Coimbatore, or coming to Bangalore, going to Kerala in that hot sun at Ambedkar Stadium, and in Goa, we are adapted to everywhere. And so this has helped me and changed me also. And this opportunity from AIFF making me an instructor has helped me also to understand the length and breadth of India, type of the cultures we have as coaches and type of players we have. So that helped me also as a coach.
And see, because under 15 is an age where, normally when somebody says 15, whether it is on field or off field, generally we have a problem whether it is a girl or a boy, that age is a tender age. So how did you manage them on focusing? Because you were talking about the focusing part of it. So how did you manage them on the focusing part of it?
Yeah, it's a very good question. The viewers can be helped also. What I would say is, I would focus. First, you have to, every player play football in India. Every player trains under coaches. There will be 100 clubs in India. All are training, doing the same thing every day. But what is the difference is how you think, how your players think. That is the main thing. What is your football brain saying? Are you thinking about it consciously, unconsciously? Are you thinking it before the match, after the session? How you are visualizing the situations after the training session? So we make them players think. We don't have to get behind them. So you be an analyst for yourself. You be a self-critic for yourself. You don't be a coach that will be every time behind the player. So we give responsibility on you. What is your aim as a player? What are your goals in life? You just want to play and then 1-2 years for enjoyment and then be off in your career, or you have your aim to make it for the national team, to play for your state, to play for ISL, to play for foreign clubs. How will it happen? When it will happen? This is the time. Are you focused? Are you dedicated? Then come train with me. If not, what is the problem? We sit across the table and discuss. This is the way you have to understand players, U15. And now players are very intelligent. It's not like a decade, 2 decades back that we deal with young players, 10-year-old, 8-year-old. Now players are, I call them, 5G, 6G players, Kalpana. They are 5G and 6G players. We are on 4G now, but they are on 5G, 6G. They are advanced, they are developed. So they need to be connected. But definitely, player has to be not only about talent. You don't talk about talent. Player has to be ready to work according to the coach's plan, to play for the team. Individual is okay, but you have to play for your team. If you're a striker, oh, my job is just to hang there. I just have to put pressure on these 2 center backs and just run across, and that's my job. I have to score goals. No, you are my first defender in the team. Okay, my goalkeeper is the first attacker. So the basic role and responsibility in your team, the players have to understand. And when I had my team last season, Kalpana, to tell you, my players were used to play a couple of positions, 2-3 positions in a team. So that is another highlight which helped me. So I am not depending on my player that you will play as a right or a left winger. You will play as a right or a left fullback. My defensive midfielder could play as a left or a right fullback. My defensive midfielder could play as a centre back. You understood what I'm stretching upon. So this is another aspect. How you have to have an edge over your opponents. You don't be dependent. If your centre back or if your right back has an injury during the match, Kalpana, how you will deal with the situation as a coach? You have to have a plan B. If your bench player can play 2 positions, you have a trump card. You are in an advantage position. Tactically, you are strong than your opponents. So this is how focus, giving them visual goals. Are you really want to become a professional player? Talking to them, not for the sake of playing. Yes, they want to become. They told us. And that's 4 players become there on their hard work, on their merit. They are there today. And I'm happy for them, Kalpana.
Actually, yeah, you're 100% correct, because in the modern trend of football, like a player, they have to be an all-rounder rather than being on to one position and staying over there. And now talking about the players, like few of them are very short-tempered these days. So any advice for them? How can they get over it? And in fact, not only the players, even the coaches also. We see them on the ground also. They just pick the bottles and they throw around tantrums, and the coaches themselves also, who are supposed to be a role model, and they themselves also get into under frustration. So how can they overcome this?
You are right, Kalpana. As we grew as coaches around us, you have seen many coaches have seen, but many coaches have improved also from their past and what they are better today, and they have learned from their mistakes. Because what has happened for the new coaches, when they expect results soon. They become impatient. Okay, this is the main reason. You expect results. You want to train a team in 3 months and you want them to go for a competition and they win the cup. Okay, maybe you're very lucky and congratulations if you win the cup in 3 months. Okay, but what about the higher competitions? Are your players tactically developed? Can your player keep the ball at your feet under pressure, or he will just balloon the ball over? So these are the aspects. Coach should be patient. Don't go for instant results in grassroots phase, in youth phases. Little focus on development. Results will come. But yes, we have to teach players to win. Why? Because you have to fight for every ball in the game. Okay, this mental aspect. Okay, I would talk about the football brain aspect, not to give up. If the player who is giving up, he should not get a place in the team. All coaches will agree with me on this. We do not want any lazy players. We want committed players, because it is not a single game, single table tennis or single badminton, okay, that you're playing, or a carom sport that you're sitting and playing. Okay, but it is a responsibility of your teammates, of your substitutes, of your coach, or you have trained for the week. If you lose the ball, entire 10 players have to go behind it. You agree with me, Kalpana? Okay, so these are the time of tactical things. You have to know the aspects of how to read the game. Coaches should teach players the aspects of reading the game. It won't come in one day, in 1 month, in 1 year. Okay, it's a process. Observe the game components. Focus on each period of session. See the player's action, what it is in training session, and be patient. Don't yell at players, because in the end, to conclude on this topic, I would say is your practice, your training session is the reflection of the match. If you don't do your homework right for training session, you will yell at the match, right? You will shout at the match because of training. You have not done your homework for the week behind. So that all things come, and it comes by experience. Okay, it comes by experience. But that doesn't mean you have to fold your hands and sit quietly there. Okay, you need to push your players, to guide your players. Okay, whatever is there, don't put your players down. Okay, don't put your players down in front of others. Okay, take them on the side. Tell them what you are. They have their responsibilities. Tell their plus, their minus points. Tell them how you want to do. What is their duty? That will build a relation between the coach and player, rather than you're generalizing them and say, hey, what are you doing, man? You're useless today. How will that player get confidence? How you want to give him his feedback? Note that after the match, during the match, talk to him one-on-one. I'm not happy with the way you're responsible today. How can we be better? I'm telling you individually because I don't want to tell you in front of your players. I want you to keep your head up and play. Play for your team. These are the small things, the player-coach relation is the one of the major aspects. All the teams in the world train technically, tactically, physically, mentally, socially. But the relation of the player and coach can not only win you matches, but win you competitions. This is the major aspect. The man management, the player-coach relationship, how you can manage your dressing room, your training session, how you can manage the substitute player who is sitting on the bench, how you can raise his confidence when he doesn't get to play a match and he polishes his shoes, he come for the match, but in the end of the match he cannot play because there are 3 substitutes. Now it is 5 substitutes. Okay, how he will be confident? Tell him your time will come. Give you 100% in practice. Don't be demotivated. That word is enough for the player to come back 100% in training on Monday. So these are the small things I would tell these coaches. I think I've told a lot in details how to be more patient and results will come.
And but before we could end, I just want to know, what is your dream like? Because you had done so much in coaches education, educating yourself in football, and you have been as a player, and then you had played a team, with a team like the Tempo, and now you are going to head Boffa Juniors, really very good, and you were the only one who had gone under the Future Asia project. And you made us proud outside also, because during that period, I'm sure like nobody, a few people would have forgotten about those golden days that you were chosen over there. What is your dream going to be like? What is your dream and what is your future plan?
Yeah, my profession as a coach and as a technical director is with a lot of responsibility, and my dream is always to see now ahead my Boffa players, especially all my Boffa players, academy excellence, gelling with our coaches, to do well, to prosper, to make Boffa proud, to play for the national team, to represent India first. You play ISL, you play internationally, but you play for your country. You make Boffa proud, and maximum is I will contribute to that. I will see that no stones are unturned, and that is my dream, to see, I'm here now, and to see that whoever I worked with, whichever player, whichever individual, whichever athlete, I would love to see him be at the highest level, not only in Asia, dream to play in Europe, and for my coaches also, my best wishes that don't underestimate yourself, don't put yourself down. okay, because you belong to India, but believe in your coach education. That is happening in India. It's happening a tremendous thing by IFF. Take the major advantage of that. Lovely webinars have been uh, sidelined for us to help us again to pursue more knowledge, to gain information. And as I said, we have to be students of the game. Yes, so that would be to grow more as a coach. My dream also to be a coach in maybe in a AFC competition, and realistic goal, if possible, by the grace of God, to work with top coaches in the world and learn from them, and if opportunity to help teams win championship.
Thank you so much, and my wishes to you for your new assignment. I'm sure, Boca has done the right decision by taking you in, and
Thank you.
that's my wishes to you. And viewers, we'll meet up in the next Friday at 7 o'clock, same time. See you all then. Thank you so much. Bye bye.